Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Cool. Hi, everyone. Can you turn your camera on, please, Anthony?
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Can you turn your camera on, please, Anthony?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you turn your camera on, please?
Superstar technology coming to you live from the internet.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon.
How are you? How are you
good.
doing?
How are you, everybody? Good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me just do a technical check for everyone. Welcome to the Co-Pilot Show.
Tech check.
Can you all do me a favor? I need you to type the letter Y or the word yes into the comment section. That'll tell us whether you can hear us and you can hear us. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. So let's do it. Let's do it. I will tell you who the guest is in a minute. So let's have those Y's and yeses. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Who's that from North Yorkshire?
Yorkshire.
Just chucking it down here, dude, in North Wales. So I imagine in Yorkshire it'll be really tipping it down. Okay, so if you remember last week, we said we would be doing a case study. We're actually reviewing a campaign which some of you have seen inside the Facebook group that has just been absolutely going crazy. And we told you we would have the owner of the business, the guy this is his first campaign as well. And this is who it is. This is Anthony Van Dort. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Good, Mark. Thank you for having me on the show. And hello, Mitch. Nice to see you again.
Yes, always good to see you.
How's things? Do you want to, before we go, whereabouts are you? You're in the UK, aren't you?
I am. I'm in London at the moment.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Now here it is, guys. What we're going to be doing, as always, we record these shows, but this is also going to form a case study as well. And so we're going to go through, and Mitch and Anthony, we're going to go through absolutely everything here, show you how the success was achieved that Anthony has got. But first of all, Anthony, give us an idea of your business. What do you do? Show your website, whatever it is. Just tell us about your business and what you do. I'm going to make you full screen, and we can come down. Mitch and I can come down there. Nice background, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you made an effort there? Have you made a bit of an effort there?
Oh, well, there's someone in my life that really loves flowers and loves boats and more flowers. And there's more flowers over there.
Oh,
the background. So my actual background is in electronic gaming. I began when I was 7 years old, and I was one of those crazy kids that asked his dad for a slot machine for his birthday rather than a Commodore 64 or an Atari ST. So my dad thought it was a good idea. We'll buy this kid a machine. He'll get bored with it and move on. And one became 2, became 4, became 8, became 16, became 900 in the end. And I moved into that commercially when I was 18 and sold that business when I was 27. And many years ago, my late father and late uncle, they had a business called Flexifoil. And Flexifoil is a kite company. And it began in the most random kind of way, as a lot of businesses do. There were 2 inventors. They were students from a university, and they needed some material to make their wind sculpture. And they ended up going to Holland to a company called Ten Carter, where they sourced the material. And they met my uncle, and my uncle fell in love with the idea. And he rang my dad and said, "Look, found these 2 guys. They've got this amazing invention." And what they didn't realize was that their wind sculpture, when you turned it upside down, was actually the fastest kite in the world. And in 1989, that got the world record for, or unofficial world record. We have a lot of world records, but that was one of the unofficial ones in Maryland in the USA, and it got a top speed of 193 kilometers an hour.
What?
So that's a serious fast kite. Thanks, Mitch.
Yikes.
So that was incredible, and that really sort of became the success story of the company. And through a lot of hard work and ideas and innovation, the business sort of grew traction. And then in the mid 90s, there was a rise of kite surfing. And kite surfing is, as I'm sure many of you guys have seen, or most people have seen, it's one of those amazing sports to watch, and it's an adrenaline sport to participate in as well. And that was really the background to the family. And then in when was it? Sort of about 2005, 2006, on my father's passing, my mother said, would you like to get involved with family business and see what see what you can do with it? And but I mean, I had really no branding experience, and I didn't really know much about kites. And even though they were sort of in the family home, it was more my uncle's gig rather than my dad's. So, long story short, I got involved with the business, and one of the things that was also fascinating about the whole kiting company is that you get to meet some of the most amazing people in the world, and you also get to travel to some of the most amazing places in the world. But the struggle when you run a business, and I'm sure there are many other businesses like it, is that once you've bought a kite or you've got one or two kites, you don't really need any more. So
I've discovered that I don't need a subscription to a kite company delivering me a new kite every month.
Oh, that would be great if you did. Yeah. I wish that were. I wish you guys would start this off.
It's not like Harry's razors.
So in 2010, Richard Branson, who learnt on Flexifoil kites back in the 1970s, actually Virgin and Flexifoil were founded in the same year, said, I want to kite surf from England to France. Would you guys be up for making the kites and doing the design and technology for that? And it took us a number of different attempts because of weather and all different things, but we actually managed to achieve those 3 world records in 2012. And that really then put Flexifoil firmly on the map around the world. I mean, we're in 96 countries. We've got, all types of kites. We actually don't do kite surfing kites anymore. We just specialize on land kites. So they're the kind of kites that you learn on before you then head out onto the water.
Okay.
And then the game came around because about 16, 17 months ago, I really wanted to try and find a way to inspire more people, particularly people that are in love with their technology, which we all are, and it's become a way of life, to actually sort of inspire people, with kiting through kite surfing or whatever, those sorts of kiting sports, was to try and get people to see how much fun kiting was, and to sort of experience the rush and adrenaline from the safety, of your own chair. So that was really where the idea was born from. So you
got any headphones by any chance? Could you put them on? Is there any chance you can put some headphones on? Because we're hearing a lot of echo.
Oh, are you? Okay, let me go and get them. Would you bear with me 1 second?
Yeah, no worries. Now the great thing that we're also going to do here is we're about to actually go into UpViral in a minute, and what we're going to do is Mitch is going to go into Anthony's account, and we're going to take you through the whole process of how it was set up, and you're going to see something quite amazing here. The prize is not what you probably think it's going to be, and how it was recouped, the prize, because this is a large prize, guys. This is a large prize. And also the great way in which Anthony developed the whole thing. Because as Anthony was saying, there's a kite company. They've developed a game, an app, which is Daredevil Dan, and we'll show you that in a minute as well. I love the name, by the way. And but another question very quickly, because we want to move on to show people. Oh, you still there, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm still here.
We've lost you. There's no camera.
The video disappeared.
You must have clicked something.
No, I haven't touched anything. It's still here.
Did that change because you plugged in your headset? I wasn't watching, I confess.
All of a sudden, it turned you off. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, bear with me a second.
No worries. Technology.
I've got tons of power and Wi-Fi here, so
you may have clicked something by accident. There's a thing at the top that says turn video on, turn video off.
Yeah, it's got a little sorry everybody, it's got a little red sign over that one. Okay, one second.
Brilliant. Okay.
Oh, I love technology.
Well, while you're doing that, I am just going to minimize this, and what I'm going to do. There we go. We've got you back. We've got you back.
Yay.
Cool. Hang on, wrong person live. Let me just make. There we go. Very quickly, what actually made you use UpViral? Because this is your first campaign. What actually made you use UpViral?
I heard about UpViral through two people. My brother, who I believe is also watching today. Hello, Teo. And one of my mentors, Russell Brunson from.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell does advocate, champion the products as well. So if he's watching, hi Russell, thanks very much.
Hi Russell.
Now let's start, because first of all, how many days did you run the contest for?
It was for 21 days.
Okay. Now let's go into the campaign and let's start looking at the results. Mitch, do you want to? I'm just going to play around with this. I'm going to make Mitch full screen. Do you want to do the thing you do so well, Mitch?
I will, and thank you for asking.
No worries.
So I did want to highlight, by the way, that I said early on when Anthony first posted this that, hey, you're giving away an iPhone as a prize.
I didn't ask you to do that. Let's go into the camp. We've got
here's the campaign.
Screenorama. So can you just first of all go to the dashboard, because I just want to point something out.
His dashboard.
Mm-hmm. So there you go, guys. There is the camp. Where is the campaign?
See this. This is a different client's campaign. I don't know what happened there.
Hang on a minute, guys.
Technology strikes again. Heavy sigh, I know.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. One campaign, first campaign only, 5,900, 5.9 thousand leads. Okay, can't get my tongue around that. So let's open up the campaign and let's just have a look how it's all set up. So tell us, Anthony, what were the results what results have you actually had from this, apart from things like the shares and the social shares and all that kind of thing? What have you actually had back from this as far as the results of the campaign? How did it go for you? And did it meet your expectations, or was it like, wow, this is just amazing?
I was startled, if I'm honest with you. I really had no idea. I mean, I didn't ever think that we wouldn't have to pay for traffic. I thought we would have to, we were going to use our own list to start with, and then after that, it was a case of then ramp it up with paid traffic. But it just gained such incredible momentum. I did do a follow-up email on day 7, and I did a follow-up email on day 17. But there were a few things which.
Now, I just want to highlight something you said, and I just want to mention it. You have not spent a single dollar on advertising this campaign, have you?
That's correct. I alluded to the fact that I would, but I never actually did in the end.
Sorry, say that again.
I alluded to the fact that I was going to, but then I never did. On Facebook, I said I was going to start paid doing paid adverts.
Yeah. But never needed to get round to it.
No.
Okay, cool. Mitch, do you want to? No, I tell you what. Let's reveal what was the actual prize that you actually put up, because people are just going to want to know what was the prize. Well, what is it that you put up?
Just very quickly, one of the things that I did, all the training that Wilco suggested to do, I spent a whole weekend. I watched every single video. And one of the things he said don't do was give away an iPhone or an iPad. I remembered that.
Yeah.
And then I was echoed from Mitch. And then I suddenly thought, maybe I shouldn't. But the difference in this was that we were actually giving away a game. We were giving, it was an app. So it really, and it was designed really for mobile. So the idea to have an app going on, it wasn't something that you could put in a bag and give away. I mean, it's something that needed a mobile to drive it. So I kind of knew that it would be so attractive And of course, it was going to attract a huge number of people that just wanted to win a phone. I totally accepted that. But it did. I mean, it really did work. I mean, there's always the argument. Well, it only worked because it was a phone, but maybe it would never.
I mean, we'll explore that, because what the reason why the phone worked in this case is that you're a kite company. You've developed a character, Daredevil Dan, which is being put into a game, which is to do with kiting. I'll get my phone in a minute and show everyone what it looks like. And we'll get everyone to download the app later on so they can play it and have some fun in it.
Thank you.
And so the idea was, we've got a game, it engages people, they can have fun, because the community will play a game like that. And then on the back of it, you baked into the game the fact that you can click on something and it takes you to your site in which people can actually purchase products. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So coming back to what Mitch was telling us all about in one of the co-pilot shows that we've had in the past, the prize was definitely the right offer in this case at a mobile phone, because it was a mobile app, which then, well, essentially the mobile phone that the app is on becomes the purchasing solution as well, because they go straight to the site and buy products. That's the theory on how the campaign was put together. Is that right?
That's correct.
Cool. So Mitch, do you want to let's have a look at how the campaign was run? Do you want to talk us through and explain how you ran the campaign, Anthony? Do you want to take us through the whole process?
Do you want to start here on what the page looked like, or you want to be in?
Yeah. Let's start. Let's go through the points. Let's go through the whole pro. Oh, we've lost Anthony, I think.
I've dropped out. I seem to have disappeared again. Just hold on a second. Sorry.
No worries.
We hear you, though.
We hear you. Let's go through the incentives and the points.
So there are no incentives. All right. So the incentives in terms of doing, additional activities, there weren't any. I highlight that because it was all about the initial offer, right? So in terms of points, we had a direct sign up and a referred sign up for 1 point apiece, and then 20 points for each referred lead, which is, of course, what I always say is the gold inside of UpViral.
Yeah.
The social sharing, we're all set to 5 points.
And now, there's custom actions there as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of custom actions, right? The big one being the download the Daredevil game app, but that wasn't initially there, as Anthony told us yesterday. They added this in the last 3 days in order to try to get some additional traction on the sharing page and get people to try to bring in more referrals.
Yeah, I mean, let's just, while we're on here, so we don't boomerang back to this, the custom actions that were in here, there are 2 basic custom actions. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, usual sort of things. But this one, custom action that had 500 points in it, what that was done in the last week, because what Anthony realized is that although people were opting in, and this was in retrospective, very wise thing to do, is that what Anthony did is in the last week, create a new custom action and say, hey, download the app and get an extra 500 points, because they want the app on someone's phone. That's the whole thing here, because if the app is on the phone, they're going to purchase products as well. So now, in retrospective, that was a really smart thing to do, because if he'd have put this in the first week, everyone would have got 500 points and they would not bothered sharing. So that put at the front end, done in the first week or the first couple of days or even the middle of the campaign, would have killed the viral factor of it, because people have got, hey, I've got 500 points, I don't need to share it anymore. Great. But having that in the last couple of days proved very, very effective for Anthony, didn't it?
Yes. And the other thing there is that,
Anthony was just answering the question there, Mitch.
I apologize.
This is Anthony's interview, not yours.
My internet falls in and out, so I don't know why. But if I do disappear, I can listen in and talk over.
No worries.
So
no
yeah,
worries.
so the original, I never came up with the idea of putting the 500 points for a download in at the beginning. That only came along at the end. And then I suddenly thought, damn, I wish I had thought of that. But actually, then I don't think the campaign would have been as successful. Because if we had it at the very beginning, people might have thought, well, I'll just get 500 points, download it, and then we're done.
Exactly.
You know, not shared it too much. So actually, it was fortuitous that I hadn't perhaps thought of that.
Yeah, we had the I'm not going to say who came up with the idea.
The other advantage is that when you do something like this, this also gives the opportunity to email your registrants again and say, oh, by the way, here's something new for you. So it reinvigorates the campaign.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the other thing also is if we come out of the points now and we actually have a look at the page setup, there's something else about the way that the page is set up. What you can see here is that there's been an investment in some good quality graphics. Do you want to explain how you came about with these graphics, Anthony?
The graphics that you see there came about from the artists that worked on the animations and the artistry and the actual game itself. I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be quite Woodstock, so make it sort of quite fun, you know, because at the end of the day, it's a really fun game, and kiting's a really fun sport. And then actually, if you scroll down a bit, you can see there's all like wooden planks and all this kind of thing. It's all quite simple, you know, it's quite simple the way that you get to, you know, go through the process. So it's very obvious what it is. You know, you've got a headline there, you've got the product, and then you enter your details. And then if you go on to the next page.
Well, do you want to opt in? Do you want to opt in, Mitch? I see you're opting in.
It's not live, Mark. We talked about that. It's not
live.
Well,
I think you're going to have to turn it live, otherwise you won't see the widget. If you go to the share page, if it's not turned on,
it's not. Then
it won't show the widget.
That's correct. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to go to the share page.
Cool.
And I think it's down here. No, that's just the
that's
closed
not the share page. That's not the share page.
So
that's the share page.
That's the share page. There we go.
Now I do have to opt in. Normally people would see the widget here, right?
Yeah. Okay. So what we're doing now, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually opting into the campaign so we can see, okay, now we're in the share. So explain how you'd set this up, Anthony, for us, please.
So the idea again was just to, if we can scroll up a bit, please, Mitch. Yeah, so the idea here was very quickly, Wilco talks about the trade-off between getting someone to share something and getting someone to buy. People don't tend to do both, they tend to do one or the other. And in our case, we were still driving the idea of downloads. So it was a real, that was our trade-off. So that's why you can see here the download buttons. If you scroll down, if you can scroll down slightly, Mitch, please. And then you see here, I can't actually read this because the screen isn't so clear, but you know, here you've got it's a very simple explanation. And then as you go down a little bit further, you can then see how and what you would, I don't know if you can see the figures on there. We ended up putting an allocation of 5 points on everything, which was Wilco's idea, 20 points for referral, which was also Wilco's idea. And then the spread of that, which we can go back in a second, was quite extraordinary. I did try and keep the look and feel of this. By the way, I tried to keep the look and feel of all of this in line with the branding and the colors of the actual sites like Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. I think. See, the thing is, although there is a good image at the top, again, I no disrespect, there is not fancy stuff going on here. It's not like there is amazing thing. You know, we got a good headline, got a nice band image, got a nice strap line, headline, and the content is very simple. It is what you have to do. This is what I've got for you. This is what you need to do now. This is what, you know, and this is what you should go and do. How did you what do you think the strong points were regarding UpViral, the lead capture and the share pages that made them convert well? I mean, first of all, you obviously used a widget here and not the UpViral hosted pages. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. about 2 years ago, I had no idea about anything to do with websites, so I'm old school. But in a funny kind of way, it's quite good because it keeps things simple rather than being too fancy. It does also prove that you don't need to have something really fancy to make it work. The thing that really was the massive catalyst to get things going. So we've obviously got a good prize, and the image that was shared all around the world was quite clear. It was quite clear what it was. It wasn't too overly branded, but it was branded well enough. When it came to actually setting what I call what you can see there now, when it came to setting the army off, we sent it out to. Let me just. I'm looking over here to my right, so I can actually just download not download. I can read you off the information. So we ended up doing. So our main list of people who we do not give, we do not send out hundreds and hundreds of emails. We don't want to upset anybody, so we were very very careful. We ended up reaching out to 14,000 people that we had who had engaged with us in one form or another over time. Of those 14,000, 738 people actually took decisive action and thought, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to run with it. And we ended up with those 738 people. You saw the figure earlier of 5,860 leads. There were a bunch of, I think they're referred to as fraudulent emails. They're not real, or they're massive.
It was only about 10%, which is a low number considering what you're giving away, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised at that. I did also notice when we emailed people out.
Actually, I believe there's a reason for that. Because what you did here is you didn't go into what I would call the Facebook environment. You didn't pay for promotion. What you did is you targeted your list who are kiters, and they then shared it with their friends, which usually birds of a feather flock together. So they probably shared it with other kiters. So that does tend to reduce the amount of frauds because it's actually going to people who are, oh, I'm into that. Yeah, I'll have that. I'm into it. So it does tend to detune, put a handbrake on the fraudulent leads that you do get. So that was also a smart move.
That's very true. And also what we found, which I was quite baffled by, was when we did the follow-up email on it was about day 7. There were an incredible number of bounces and less so unsubscribes. And I thought that was quite curious that people had only entered into this 7 days before, and 7 days later, just with one email, which was just a very soft reminder. It was no hard selling or anything. And there was a bit of fallout from there. That also happened on day 17. So we ended up actually at the end of this, not with 5,860 leads to work with, we actually ended up with 4,576, which is still astonishing.
Their people, the 4,800, whatever it is that you've got, let's just round it up to 4,800. That's after you take out the things that are bounced, the unsubscribes, that kind of thing. I think we also worked out that for everyone that took action and came in here, they actually brought in something like 6.97 people.
Isn't that incredible?
Individually, each person brought in 7 people. Let's round it up because it's obviously someone had one arm or one leg or something like that, which was a great thing. For every person that opts in and that stays in contact with you, doesn't unsubscribe, they're bringing in about 7 other people, which is absolutely fantastic.
It's amazing.
It really is. It really is. And how did you keep everyone engaged during the 21 days? What is it that you did? Did you've got the campaign, you set out the first email. What did you do during that 21 days? Did you do anything?
I sent a follow-up email on day 7, which was just, just to basically, it was like a gentle reminder to,
Do you have the copy of the email? Do you have the copy? You don't need.
I don't now, but for your case study, I can certainly give that to you.
Okay.
And with regards to day 17, we had that was the time when we came up with the idea of sending out an email and saying, "Hey, everybody, we've got 4 days to run. If you download the game," and all we asked them was to answer a simple question about something that they'd find in the game, which was really easy to access, then we give them another 500 points. That was a super boost. That really, really did suddenly motor things on. Because again, with Wilco's trade-off that he talks about, you want someone to do what you want them to do, but you also want them to share. So that actually worked. That worked very well.
One question I do want to ask, because I bet people I've not tested the questions yet, but they are going to ask. If they've not asked it, they're going to be thinking it. Sure. Okay, you put a mobile phone up, 800. Well, let's call it. I don't know what it'd be in dollars, but let's just $1,000. $1,000. $1,000. How that is a lot. Of, how many sales would you have to do to cover it? That cost?
We would. It's a difficult question to answer. I can first and foremost say that we have already recovered the costs.
There you go.
We did that simply by emailing afterwards. In fact, actually, I'd say afterwards. It was yesterday. We did a very special offer where we did buy one get one free, because again, we're trying to inspire people to take up kiting. And in this case, it was kids kiting. And the sales overnight, and this morning more than
okay. We'll come to post campaign in a minute. Let's not steal the thunder from that. Let's come to that
because it's a free game, you see. So we were giving away something that we technically, on the face of it, we weren't going to earn anything out of. Which is where I think the air of mystery came about.
How did you announce the winner? Tell me how you announced the winner. What did you do? Was it a live event or something?
We didn't actually. We did it across. It was post. We did it. The system chose the winner, and we announced it on social media. And very happy person from Estonia is.
Kite flying is massive in Estonia. Kite flying is massive in Estonia.
I knew it. The world.
Yeah, I guaranteed it. I knew it had come from Estonia. That kite flying is big in Estonia. It's like being big in Japan.
It's amazing how far it reached, though. We had it going on all countries across the world. It was amazing.
That's interesting. What sort of countries? You went, wow, it spread there, a bit like coronavirus. Where did it spread to? Where's the furthest it went?
The USA was without a shadow of a doubt the overriding winner. Then the UK, as you might expect, being a British kite brand, having been around for many years. But it spread far and wide. We had New Zealand, Australia, we had India, South Africa. Literally. I mean, I don't know how many countries in total, but it was a lot, and I was quite.
Now, here's an interesting question for you. I was just thinking this. Coronavirus lockdown. Selling kites is not probably a good idea because I very rarely fly a kite inside my house. But you were saying yesterday that just didn't happen because in America it just took off. Pardon the pun. I did not mean that. I did not mean that. But it literally took off done it again in America in a big way, didn't it? This campaign that you did, despite the lockdown.
Yeah, so kiting in a funny kind of way is a good social distancing sport as well, because you've got yourself and your kite, and no one wants to be sort of within 25-30 meters of your kite. So actually, in a funny kind of way, it was good. It was a form of exercise. It got people outside, and there's a lot more space and a lot more land, and a lot more different rules per state in America.
Right.
Where with us in the UK, we sort of all had to follow pretty similar rules as did Europe and so on. So we were lucky there. So, but also on the flip side of that, which was amazing, is it was a great time to launch a game because so many people were at home and they had a lot of time on their hands. So actually, it sort of rolled quite. The timing was pretty amazing. That the game came out, and then by the time the competition was ending, lockdowns were coming towards a close, and then we were, out in the world. So I do believe in the end there's luck in a lot of these things as well. There's luck in the timing and so forth.
Do I do believe in luck, but I also believe it's amazing how lucky you are when you get busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The harder you work, the luckier you become.
It's amazing that, isn't it? The harder you work, the more lucky you become. I wonder if there's something in that. I actually want to change focus for a minute. I just want to talk about post-campaign, okay?
Sure.
What is it? I'm just going to make there. Thanks, Mitch. I just want to ask you. You created these leads. You got all these email subscribers, 4,800, which after the unsubscribes and everything. What did you do after the campaign? Because a lot of people, we were speaking last week, a lot of people get the leads and they just sit there and do nothing. What is it that you did post-campaign? Did you nurture them? Did you immediately hit them with an offer? Tell us more about that. What did you do?
I purposefully didn't hit everybody with an offer straight away, because the reality of it is that, that you've got one winner in this. And maybe looking back on it, perhaps we could have done the price setup slightly differently. But when it came to sort of at the end of this, I suddenly thought, well, people are finding out through media that that they haven't won. Bearing in mind, most of these people either subscribe to us on Instagram or on YouTube or different places. So I actually decided to go quiet for a period. And then yesterday, we then put the campaign out where we said, look, we'll make something really compelling. You can buy one, you can get one free. I mean, that's pretty good. These are great. These are really good guys. I would say that, but they really are good guys. We've been around 48 years. So there's one thing we know about. We know about guys.
If you send me one free, I'll test it out and I'll give you a valid opinion on that.
Oh, there you go.
If you beat my high score on Daredevil, then I'll match you.
There you go. No. There you go. Way to go.
And so I'm thinking, that's it wasn't like in fairness, there was no nurturing. It was just a case of, well, these people have come in, they've given up their time. Some people have gone to an enormous amount of effort to share this. So by giving them something that was really great, that you say, look, you can have one and we'll give you another one for free, then that was I was thinking of it, I'd love to give everyone one for free, but I wouldn't be here now. And so I thought by giving one and then another one, buying one and getting one for free was the way to do it.
So how you said you went quiet after you closed the campaign. How many days was that you went quiet and then said, hey guys, here's an offer, buy one get one free, thank you very much?
Well, the offer, I think the campaign closed on the 21st of June, and we did the offer yesterday on the 6th of July, so it was a good couple of weeks.
Okay, because a few people are asking that.
A good couple of weeks, because what I think is really important here, the psychology, is that you didn't really want to go and then make it, even though you are trying to generate leads, right, and you are trying to create a new business, what you didn't want to be was, right, well, now I've got your email address, now I'm going to just hammer you and try and sell stuff to you. So I think there's one or two avenues you could have taken. You could have done the softly straight afterwards, or not, or just give everyone a bit of respite and then bang, then go out with something that was really special. I'm not saying one is better than the other. That's just a decision.
I actually think you've done something very smart here, because we've got, there's two types of way you can do a campaign. Your way, which is, hey, I've got a competition, do this, get the free app. It's the soft approach to it. And then afterwards you go, hey, thanks for, taking part in the competition. My way of saying thank you very much to all of you is, I've got an offer. If you buy a kite, buy one, get one free, that kind of thing. So it's a soft approach. But then we also have the other way, which is like a few people have done, which is the Bunky Life way, where all the way through the competition, they know they're going to get sold to at the end. They know there's going to be an offer at the end. So sending out the email immediately after, or even doing it at the end of the campaign, that works because everyone was nurtured to be prepared for that. Right. So I think what you've done is a very smart way of doing it, because your way was more friendly, soft, but planned. I don't mean soft in it was done weak. It was very strong the way it was done. And I think this buy one, get one free afterwards has worked really, really well. What do you intend to do? I mean, this is your first campaign. I know we spoke yesterday. Have you had any plans? What are you going to do now? Are you going to run another? Because I'm always a great believer in success breeds success. So are you going to do another campaign? Or going to bounce on it? Have you had any thoughts on that? How you can extend the life?
I haven't had any thoughts yet on how to go about doing a second campaign. To answer your question, would I do another one? Without a doubt. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. A point just to make quite clear as well, because we had such a a nurtured group of people that were helping us effectively. I didn't also want to go on a hard selling mission or even really a selling mission at all, because so many of those people that had been referred into us were probably friends and family of the people that we were initially engaged with. So I thought it was quite important as well not to like go full blast, because I didn't really want to be dinner party conversation about like, oh well, I went into that competition and now I get 15 emails a day from this guy. You know, so I think that was also really important. And people hate being sold to, right? I mean, we all do. So I think it's really important to, you know, if you are going to make an offer, not do it straight after, and you know, make it really, really compelling. It's not like 10% off or something. It's got to be something really, really powerful.
You're in it for the long game, not the short game.
Totally. And we've been doing this for 48 years, and you know, long after I'm gone, I'd like it to be going on. So I think that's really important.
Now, if you run another contest again, what would you do better?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. The first thing I would do is have a really frank conversation with Mitch.
Yeah.
Because Mitch, I've got to say, Mitch, thank you so much. And to everybody that's here listening today, I mean, you know, he really, really, really knows his stuff. And it's not something just for money. It's a passion. He loves it. He's always helping and doing everything he could. And I was a bit nervous originally about reaching out, and thought, oh God, how many newbies does he have coming to him saying, oh, can you just? And I was like, I think my opening line was, hi Mitch, I'll pay you, please. I just need to know, because I didn't want to do was to go out, try it, screw it up, and then everyone would say afterwards, well, why didn't you do that? So I thought, you know, they always say, you know, have a good mentor. So Mitch, thank you very much for
it was my pleasure. And I know you had to put up with me going, but that's the wrong prize. But you did well. Thank you.
I wasn't going to bring it up. But what would you do next time? What would you do differently? You know, what did you learn? What would you do?
Well, I think the idea, which I never thought of at the beginning, and you know, and actually Mitch did mention later on, but in fairness, Mitch and I have been on the phone for hours, so you already give me a lot of ideas. One of the things was we basically chose that person at random, right, to get the prize. So it would be quite cool if the person that referred that person that won also got a prize. Because then there's more of an incentive in the future for people to refer it. So I think that would have been better. And I think that would have been fairer as well, because then the two people would have known each other and they'd be a bit like, hey, we both won on this. I think the feel-good factor would have been much bigger.
Right.
Yeah, that win-win. If they win, you win. You get more of a viral traction on it, and I think, I actually think the campaign, the way that you set it up, the way Mitch has helped you with this, it's a great campaign that's done extremely well. But it's got that element of, I'm not gonna bother you, I'm not gonna hassle you. It's that softly approach, which is the long game rather than the short game. And I think it's
one-click sign up was a dream. It was such a good idea. You know, send your raving fans that you've got straight into that share page. You know, and I thought that was just a really good idea. I wondered all along when I was doing the training, because it only gets talked about quite later in the training. I thought, is that really worth doing? And for the benefit of everybody that's listening, I've got to say, the one thing that really did make this work was the fact that we really engaged with our own following. And I'm a big believer in working like in partnership with the people that, you know, that buy the products. So for them to be able to then afterwards also get a product and another product for free, I thought it was a good win-win for everybody, because no one expects there's going to be, you know, 5,800 winners.
Right.
No. I just think you've done, both between the two of you, an absolute awesome campaign. And I think although you've done one, I can definitely see, I know we spoke about some ideas of what you can do, put it in the game, some Easter eggs and you know, treasure hunts and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a great idea. I think it's absolutely awesome. So I'm looking forward to your next campaign. I think really what we should do now is we should start answering questions.
Sure. Okay.
I can let now before everyone goes. I believe you're going to be kind enough to actually, if people email you, you're going to actually send them, answer any questions that they've got. Is that correct, Anthony?
I would be delighted to
okay.
to answer questions. If a lot's come in, then be a little bit patient.
And
but I will do it.
But yeah, a lot could come in. There's a lot of people on here, so. But he's volunteered. What would be really cool is if you could send me the 2 follow-up emails that you did, whether you want to email it to these people or if you want to send it to us, or we can email it to everyone. But I'll leave that up to you, so we can actually then send the text of those emails, and we'll try and do a breakdown and screenshots and wrap it into a PDF, and we can send that out to everyone for you as well. We'll send you a copy, so we can do that. So let's go into question mode. So let me just change everything. Mitch, do you want to kick it off while I just change?
The big question, which we knew was going to be asked, was how did you create the game itself?
Oh my goodness, you've asked me the first question I can't really answer.
That's fine, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately I am in an NDA on the game and the technology and everything else. So,
no, we totally understand.
What I would say is a good, well thought out plan is the best thing, and to also model other people's success. That's probably.
I think there was one thing that's come out of this that I've been listening to, and I really want, before I forget it, I really want to mention it. Time and time again during this case study, today's show, Anthony has repeated on several occasions now, I followed Wilco's training. And every single one of you, that training is in the dashboard. It's in UpViral. Anthony just followed exactly what Wilco said. Okay, made some calls. So if you are in doubt, watch the training again. So next question, Mitch.
Obviously replays, yes, those are in the UpViral group. Sophie, hi, we want 3 winners, 1 random, 1 based on highest entries, and the last winner to be the person who referred. So this isn't really an Anthony question, but UpViral only allows us to select 1 winning criteria. We've talked about that before, and it's really easy. It's not inside of UpViral that you do that. On the winners tab, it does show you the person who referred the person that randomly was picked, right? So if there was somebody, it is shown there. It's not a separate draw. And the most points is fairly obvious. It's who has the most points. So it's in there. It just might be a little hard to get to if you haven't been there before.
Oh, one quick question. Where can everyone get the game, by the way, Anthony?
What? It's on the store.
Where do they get the game from? www.daredevildan.com.
Hang on a minute.
Daredevildan.com.
I will get that. I'll put it in. Can you carry on with the questions, please, Mitch, while I do this? I can only do one thing at a time, unfortunately.
You and I are in the same boat there.
Yeah.
What would you think? This is from Deborah. What would you think of a generosity campaign? Would that work? Such as buy 1 and we'll give 1 to somebody, a charity or somebody else, like kite clubs, maybe.
I think that is a fantastic idea. It reminds me of a friend of mine that has a charity in the States, and for every garment that he sells, he gives a school uniform to a child in Africa.
Nice.
So I think that's absolutely brilliant, and I know it's been hugely successful. And it's a balance between the company's allowed to make a profit, make money, that's okay, but ethically it's also doing something great for the world. So yeah, a wonderful idea.
It is. Yeah, cool.
Do you think, and this is asked by actually a couple of people, Gary was one of the last ones, is it okay to offer a cash prize or an Amazon voucher? Would that work better? Go ahead.
I think this comes back to the original argument why everybody said don't give away a mobile phone, because it's so generic. I think what's really important is to try and make sure that the prize is as relevant as it possibly can be to the kind of customer that you want to sell to at the end of the campaign. Otherwise, you're going to end up with hundreds and thousands of people that have got utterly no interest in all the hard work and effort that you have gone to produce something amazing. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but it depends what you're trying to sell. And in my book, I would say it might, but I wouldn't do it.
You'd have to really work the campaign to get it to work because it has no relationship to what the product is. Here, Karen's actually asking a question which I've just seen, which hasn't been teed up. How long was the bog off offer, buy one get one free, offer good for? How long? You sent the email out. Is there a time period on that for them to put the offer to get it?
Actually, no, because what I didn't want it to do again was to be too selling. So we're saying, look, there's an opportunity for you. It's while stocks last. So once the stock's gone, the stock's gone. But if the stock's gone on Sunday, then it's on Sunday, and if it's next Thursday, it's next Thursday. So we didn't actually, and there's a lot of stock there as well. So I wanted to make sure that ultimately everybody would get.
Do you know what I like about this campaign that's coming more and more out of it? It's a nice campaign. It's not a selly campaign. It's not a you've got to, here's the buy one get one free. When the clock goes down to zero, tough. It's not using what I would call normal online internet marketer selling techniques. Do you know what I mean? That's what I really do like about this. It has that more of a family type of approach to it, which I really do like.
An analogy I heard years ago was about like the conveyor belt. You've got 52 weeks on a conveyor belt, right? And the conveyor belt's going to pass at some point. And at some point, other people will go, you know what, I really need a kite. That company. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Or they're down on the beach and their friends flying it or something and think, oh, I want to get one of those. I must go and do that. So I was ready.
I was in that situation the other day. I was thinking, if only I had a kite.
When you were in your living room. Now you can.
I had the urge to go and fly a kite.
Well,
it just goes to show you, kites, for God's sake, kites. Who would have thought an UpViral campaign would have taken off deliberately so well with a kite?
Well, but Anthony's pointing out something that many people tend to forget. We look for the immediate gain, right? Yeah. And you've done it with the buy one, get one. So there's like an immediate gain. But the 52 weeks that follow and the year, even years beyond, and Mark mentioned this before, the long-term aspect of what you're working on here is key. So many people tell me, well, I tried a contest and it didn't work. Like, well, did you try it again? What did you learn from the first one? Find a way of making it better, because it's great marketing. And, Anthony mentioned my passion. I get wound up about this because people go, well, I just tried it. I mean, it's like a baby walking. They fall down the first 10 times they try. They keep getting back up and trying again until they understand the process and how to do it. So
the other thing about this campaign that I really do like is that you brought in 4,800 people who now feel like they're part of something. They don't feel like they've been sold something. So that when you do follow them up, maybe in another month or 2 months, 6 months or whatever, with another offer, they're more likely to be engaged with you, to open your emails, because that's the trick, isn't it? We've got the people in. We now want them to keep opening our emails and reading them, and then eventually go, yeah, I'll buy a kite. Yeah, cool. We're going on holiday. We need a kite for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, to show you how long the conveyor belt can be, I had a message on Facebook the other day from someone that said, your dad gave us a kite, in 1985.
Nice.
And I've now got kids, and we'd love to get some kites for our children. So, the conveyor belt can be 30 years, 35 years.
Dude, long. I think it's even longer, because you remember the conversation I had with you? I definitely had one of these kites in the 70s. When it took off as a stunt kite craze, I had one of your dad's kites.
Yeah,
and I can tell you now, I can still. I'm thinking about it now. I can still remember flying it on the beach just down the road from here, and up on the hill, on the mountain, just on the other side here. And I remember that summer of probably, I think, 76. It was a scorcher. And I definitely remember that. So yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to interrupt for this question because I think it's a good one. Anya, who was in the Viral Hacking Challenge, by the way, asked the question, and I'm going to change it just a little bit. Do you think you had an existing list? Do you think this would do as well if you didn't have a list? And could you have done it without a list?
Well, I think the answer to that is I don't actually know, because I've only done it this way.
Right.
My gut feeling says that it would have been a lot harder, because you would then need to have found that raving fan list or created that raving fan list. But I do have some really great ideas for free traffic. The one thing that it pains me. I mean, I've done it. We've all done it, right? I mean, I've spent over 100,000 on pounds and Facebook ads over the years, and it pains me, So that list wasn't born out of just luck. I mean, that was work, nurturing, and everything else, as you'd expect. I do think it would be. I do think it would be harder, but I do think that if we could get on your campaign everything as perfect and as nurtured as possible, like the look, the feel, the simplicity, all those sorts of things, the prize, making sure it's relevant and that kind of thing. There are ways to get a ton of free traffic into it. If you were to ask me, had I put a kite as the prize rather than a phone as the prize, then I do not think it would have been anywhere near as successful. So I think there's a lot of truth in this, that the phone actually made it hugely compelling. And I do believe in the end of time that we will end up with more people on that list that wanted a phone that will ever actually buy a kite. But the trade-off is that even if 1,000 or 500 of those people over the next year did a transaction with us to buy a kite, it would have paid for itself so many times.
Right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share. I'm going to share Anthony's email address with everyone, because Anthony's been kind enough to say if you get in touch with him, he'll answer any questions you've got, and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to send that to everyone now. So there you go, everyone. There is Anthony's email address. We are now approaching the top of the hour. We have been going. Yes, 60 minutes. It goes like that, doesn't it? Is there a last minute question, Mitch, that you have that you want to pull out of the pile?
That was pretty much it.
Anything from you, Anthony, before we say goodbye, that you want to say about the campaign and UpViral?
I think next time around, rather than making it 5 points to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, or 5 points for a message to share, I would be really, really generous with the points next time. So rather than it being 5, it makes no difference. It's just maths. So you could turn around and say, actually, we do 25 points and we'll do 50 points for this or 100 points for that. So people suddenly think, oh my God, you wouldn't believe I'm in a competition and I'm up to like 18,000 entries into this competition or something. I think that's kind of more exciting, the psychology.
Do you think you would also use custom campaigns? I know, custom campaigns, custom actions. Sort of like, oh, here's a custom action for this week, and then another custom action to keep driving it. So you'd have different custom actions for each week. Would you consider doing that as well?
I would consider doing that 100%. I think almost gamifying the sort of adding another level to it. We talked about putting ideas in the games and that sort of thing. It's like just to make it more exciting and more compelling. But I hope it's been of help. You've got my email address, everybody. So feel free to drop me an email if you've got any questions. I will definitely share the follow-up emails with you. There are only 2, so I can share those with you, and I'd be delighted.
Well, I just want to say on behalf of everyone inside here, I just want everyone just to give a big thanks or a big X as a kiss and say thank you very much. to Anthony. So if you can just put your thanks, just start typing them in there. I just want to say thanks very much, Anthony. It takes a lot of guts to come on a live show like this and expose everything about your business and your campaigns. I just want to say thank you very much for doing that. Mitch, any final thoughts before we say, oh, look at everyone, people going XXXXS. Everyone loves you. Any final thoughts from you, Mitch?
I love that Anthony was, like you said, willing to come on here and being brave to do that. I do think that it is great that he's also going to continue doing campaigns, because it is the long form. Don't just give up. Don't ask questions in the UpViral group. Come to the co-pilot show. Ask questions here. We try to get to them all. Sometimes we don't get all the questions answered, but there's plenty of resources out there to come help you get your campaign done. Go long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Anthony. And I just want to leave everyone with something from last week. Do you remember last week we were talking about autoresponders? And I asked the question about people saying, I need to know more about email marketing. And I asked, would you all be interested in an email marketing course? And you all went, yes. Well, guess what? We have got one big kick-ass email marketing course that is coming very, very soon. Look out in your inbox for something on that. We had a bit of a sizzle, and we have put something together. And we have got a really in-depth email marketing course that Wilco has done. I'll tell you more about that next week, and look out for some emails regarding that as well. Again, thanks very much, Anthony. Thanks very much, Mitch. We will be back next week. We've got something special for you again next week. Not going to tell you what it is because it is super special and secret. So look out for the emails on that. And I'll see you all again, same time, same place next week. So wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, great evening. See you all then. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.